getting shredded without ever having to do any cardio. That's pretty much everybody's dream, and I'll talk about this in this video. I'll give you guys 6 ways, 6 tips that will help you get as lean as possible without spending hours suffering on the treadmill, the Stepmaster. But not only that, the goal is not just getting shredded and losing fat, but also maintaining our muscle mass as much as possible, and those ways will help you also not reach any plateaus. All right, so hang on till the end. Let's jump straight into it. Number 1. Well, before going to tip number 1, we gotta understand that in order to get shredded and to lose fat, we gotta be in a deficit, which means eating less than what we are burning. As simple as that. All right, and most of the time we're using cardio to increase our burnt calories and our diet, so we're eating less calories than usual to make sure that we are in a big of a deficit. All right, so now that we're taking away that first factor, which is cardio, we are left off with our diet. So that's why tip number 1 is optimize your diet. Every single calorie that you're eating has to be accounted for, guys. The milk that you're putting in your coffee, the oil in your frying pan, the extra butter on your bread, for example, all those little things will be accounted for, and you have to make sure that every single calorie counts, every single calorie matters, and if you're consuming it, it's for a purpose. All right, so this is super important. You cannot get away with much now because you took away the cardio factor, so you can't get away with much. If you were someone that's doing 1 hour of cardio a day, I would be like, you know what, probably you can get away with eating a few pieces of dark chocolate extra every single day because of all the cardio you're doing. You'll be burning it off. But now that you took away that cardio factor, well, you can still get shredded, but now your diet has to be optimized and really to a T. All right, you just can't mess around with it, you can't walk around it, and you can't cut corner when it comes to dieting. And that's why it's super important that also your macros make sense, because eating, let's say you're eating 1600 calories, because now your diet will be pretty low, your calories. Well, eating 1600 calories coming from carbs as opposed to coming from protein will make a huge difference for you to optimize your muscle retention. So that's why you gotta keep those proteins high. All right, so number 1, make sure that your diet is optimized. Number 2, lift more, because lifting also helps you burn muscle, also help you burn calories. All right, and helps you maintain and preserve that muscle mass that you have. All right, so if you're someone that's just lifting 3 or 4 times a week, bump it up to 5 times a week. Add another session and another session, and this will help you burn more calories, build some muscle mass, and the more muscles you have, the higher your metabolism will be, because now you have more muscles, your body needs more calories, so now basically the calories needed just to keep you alive will be higher. All right, so you'll be burning more calories. That's why your metabolism increases. So add an extra lifting session. Instead of doing more cardio, no, just lift more. You can either add an extra session or do a bit more time each time you go to the gym. All right, so that was tip number 2. Tip number 3, your NEAT, non-exercises activity thermogenesis, which means every single thing you're doing aside of training and cardio. So all the movements that you'll be doing, that could be gardening, that could be washing your dishes, that could be walking your dog, that could be, I don't know, doing your laundries. All of those things can actually help you burn more calories than your actual cardio. So you want to be aware of those and not be very lazy. All right, especially when you're home. Let's say you finish your workout, I know you're not eating much, but you're trying to get shredded. So instead of asking your brother to go get you that remote control to change the TV, well, get up, go get the remote control and get back sitting on the couch. Well, if you do those little things every single, let's say, hour, or every single time you need to, you get up, you stay active, you kind of keep this in the back of your head, trust me, it will make a huge impact on the long term. All right, yesterday I was shaving my cat, and trust me, that was like a cardio session, because I was like running after him, and then just a big story, and then cleaning everything, and then washing, and then cleaning, taking away the hair and all those stuff. And I'm like, I'm sure I've burned more calories than my actual cardio session. So that's the NEAT. Every single thing you're doing aside of your training, the activity that you're doing, well, this is very important that you don't cut corners on it. All right, so you can actually increase it by maybe walking a few steps around the block as you're coming back home from work. You can be taking the stairs as opposed to taking the elevator if you live on the 2nd floor. You got the idea. Number 4, you want to reduce your stress and you want to optimize your sleep. Guys, if you're stressed, cortisol levels are up. When cortisol levels are up, you're frequently stressed. Your boss is yelling at you. You just got fired. I don't know what's happening in your house, relationship. Your body is just not in an optimal state anymore to burn body fat or build muscle mass. All right, so you will go in this fight or flight mode, and it's just a vicious cycle that will impede your muscle loss, that will go against, and that will actually slower your metabolism, because now your body is in the fight or flight mode. So now your body slows down the metabolism so you don't kind of disappear out of the calories burnt. All right, I'm just going super fast in it. It's an analogy, but when you're super stressed, it will impact your weight loss, your metabolism will slow down, and just burning fat and building muscles isn't the priority for you anymore. Your testosterone levels will go down, and so on and so forth. So make sure you're optimizing your sleep and your stress. Number 5, go slowly. You don't want the deficit to be so big, because if the deficit is so big, more than 500 calories, I really do believe that that's where you'll start also getting in those muscle tissues and breaking down muscle mass. All right, the goal is that we don't lose any muscle mass. And yes, you can be lifting and eating a high protein diet, but if the deficit is over 1,000 calories a day, I'm pretty sure your muscle mass will be impacted, and it's just not ideal on the long term. You might see some results on the scale, but that's not necessarily the look we're going for. All right, we want to optimize muscle mass, and going too fast and going too great of a deficit will cause catabolism and will start causing muscle breakdown, which we do not want. So go slowly, guys. The slower the better. The slower it takes you, the better. So spread it out. Let's say you want to get lean. Let's say now it's almost Christmas. Let's say you want to get lean for next summer. Well, give that yourself as a goal. Don't be like, you know what, I want to get lean and shredded for Christmas. Like I told you, I was cutting my cat's hair. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Oh, poor little baby, you know. He looks very skinny now. I think he lost like 5 pounds. I'm not the best barber, so I did not do the best haircut, but it is what it is. So go super slow. Don't try to get shredded in 2 weeks, or 12 weeks would be the minimum. All right, but give yourself time. 12 weeks. I like saying 12 weeks, 3 months. And if you say 6 months, it's even better, because now you can even take more your time. And the fact that you're not doing cardio won't really impact you, because you're in a deficit, you're eating well, and it's just gonna, and you're lifting, and it's just gonna come together right in time. Number 6, fasting. Because I do believe that fasting will help, especially when you're not doing any cardio and you want to get super shredded. I do believe that fasting smartly. All right, I'm not talking about a crazy intermittent fasting or a 24-hour fast or 5 days fast, but I'm talking about fasting smartly. So what does that mean? So I just want to say that fasting, guys, as crazy as it sounds, but fasting stresses your body. All right, because your body all your life has been used to eating every single meal. But now what you do, well, your body has been used to eating every single day, all the time that you're awake. But now what you decide to do, because you saw it on internet, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go 3 days just drinking water, or I'm gonna go 18 hours or 20 hours or just eating 1 meal a day. How do you think your body will react? Your body will feel that we'll go into a survival mode, and we'll be like, oh my god, there's no more food, metabolism slows down because stress is high. As simple as that. All right, but fasting smartly and easing into it. So maybe doing an intermittent fasting where you just stop eating by 8 p.m. If you usually eat up until 10, stop eating 2 hours before your usual time, and that's considered fasting, because now you'll go to bed, you'll have, like, let's say already 4 hours, and then you'll sleep 8 hours, and maybe you wake up and you skip the first 2 hours, and then you have a 16-hour fast. Maybe start with a 14-hour fast, 15, 16. Doesn't need to be drastic, guys. Don't go for the 20-hour intermittent fasting, because it will stress your body and you will not see results. Another thing, John Meadows used to really love doing that, was a 24-hour fast once a week when you start getting super lean. All right, and it's just once a week, or maybe once a month, but it's really very occasionally. You do 1 day only, 24 hours, but then right away after you feed your body. And of course, you gotta drink water, and you gotta make sure you have your sodium in there to make sure that your muscles keep getting hydrated and you keep hydrating your body. All right, so a 1 day fast once in a while, or a very slow and low intensity intermittent fasting could benefit you if you got to a percentage that is pretty low and you're just trying to push a little bit more. All right, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Cardio is not a must, but it does help. I like walking, you know, I go for walks. It really helps me with my digestion, clear up my mind. And when it's sunny, I get some sun. Now it's unfortunately starting to get more and more cloudy. But Halloween is soon here, then it's Christmas, and then it's gonna be sun all over again in a few months. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.